First, I think that communication is always key. Again, we get numbers. It wasn't from the beginning that it was broken down and parsed out so we could determine which homes, which demographics, etc. But when we get those data and then we do not get data on the steps that are being taken, the needs that may be there, there's no asks being made that we know of, or that I believe the media knows of, because it doesn't get addressed at the press conferences. At the end of the day, you know, I could cheaply say the buck stops at the top, right? But right now, the administration is making every step of the way, making the rules and the regs for it. There is no, despite what you may have heard on the radio this morning, there is no General Assembly participation in the process. There is a member of the General Assembly participating, for certain. But the General Assembly plays a role, and we have been doing this for the past 6 years on all issues relating to our vulnerable populations and how, frankly, this administration's actions have harmed them. Why aren't we doing it here? When we hear about, and Rep. Place touched on, the lack of PPE or the lack of directives and the various contradictions in today's order versus yesterday's, or what you heard an hour ago, that is a failure of communication, which frankly, as an aside, for an administration that has about 350 PR people on their payroll, they should be able to at least communicate. My constituents, and I'm sure all of my 74 colleagues in the House can say the same thing, are reaching out to me because they are scared. They have elderly in their family. They have those who may otherwise need to be in a congregate setting in their family, and they view them almost as dens of death because they don't know what's going on. When this first started, a crisis manager, I think from Katrina, had spoken out about the best way to deal with crises, and the first thing was to be open, transparent, and to communicate everything. And that isn't happening right now. And that does not inspire confidence in anyone. Never mind the person who is seriously considering, do I put that in that home? What do I do with I can't afford a nurse at home? What do I do? We need to address this. The silence is deafening, and it's painful. Did I address your question succinctly, because I went all over the place on that?
You did.
Okay.
It sounds like you're saying more than finding a specific fault with the administration and its approach. You're saying House oversight has a role, the legislature has a role. That's what this is more about, checks and balances, more than specific lack of action by the administration.
Yeah, I mean, the checks and balances message we've been, I think, communicating very well through the leader and the caucus right from the get-go. But in this particular case, yeah, the check and balance would be good. But what we've seen in the past 6 years in House oversight is the questions asked and the things demanded from the administration by House oversight have actually bent the trajectory of what the administration's doing, and in a lot of cases in a favorable direction. And that's what transparency does. That's what daylight does. It causes you to correct your action if you're out in full sunlight and you're not on the right path. That's the role that oversight, or that's the main benefit, in my opinion, that oversight brings to any sort of an oversight hearing, is we are overseeing the process and we're shining light on it, and we want to know what's going on.